As a bankruptcy firm, Mitchell, Cunningham, and Bowling realizes many people are worried about their finances. We're here to guide you through the next steps to restart your life with easy video appointments. New clients don't have to leave home to get information about becoming debt-free. Also, convenient in-office appointments are available at the low cost of $340 upfront for a Chapter 13. You can be on your way to being debt-free. Contact Mitchell, Cunningham, and Bowling today or visit our website at mcdebtfree.com. We are here to help you.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 5.
Well, welcome to Mississippi Live Weather at 5. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lawpon on this absolutely gorgeous Friday. Not just any Friday, beginning of a new season Friday. Definitely looking like we're having a fantastic one on the way, and we're going to be looking ahead toward that full forecast related to that here in a couple of minutes. But this headlines this evening as we look out here in the Room Weather Center, expecting conditions to be in pretty good shape there. Hour by hour forecast, again, we'll have that here in just a second. But for one reason or another, Gabe, you might have to give me a space bar on this one, or at least a click on it, because it looks like there we are. It's coming up there. So happy first day of spring to everyone out there. Hopefully you're enjoying the beautiful weather that we have had, and hopefully we'll continue to have some nice weather over the course of the remainder of today, and certainly the weekend looking like that as well. Record-setting heat, though, is ahead. 80s today. I'm a little warm in the darker colors. I'm sure a lot of folks probably are as well. But we're thinking rain remains very limited through even the extended forecast. More on that full look here in a couple minutes. But the first 12 this evening, still holding on to 80 degrees as of 6 p.m. It's 68 by 9, 62 as we look toward midnight, and somewhere around the upper 50s for early tomorrow morning, which is well above our normal for this time of the year. As we check out the latest here, as far as the conditions are concerned, our camera, this one, like many of our cameras, showing up with the clear skies. This in Pontotoc at this hour, coming in 82 degrees. Looking just from time to time, we've had some smoke plumes out there, but not a whole lot more than that. Amory coming in 82 degrees as well. A couple little clouds, and you'll notice the humidity not too terribly high. And so that, I guess a positive note related to where we're at here down there in the Monroe County area. And then last camera of our three that we're going to check on there, this one coming in from Winona, 82 degrees at this instant. The green starting to show up a little bit more on some of the grassy surfaces as well as the trees as the pollen goes in full force. I'm going to go above us here to the Mississippi Live drone as we are here in Pontotoc. It's our game of the week. It is a softball game this week between South Pontotoc and Pontotoc City Schools there as we look in over top of the field. Still some time before game starts there, but it's just kind of a beautiful afternoon, and certainly the field looking like it's in pretty good shape. We referenced this a minute ago with our camera there south of the city of Pontotoc, but a little bit of smoke showing up there toward the horizon. There's a lot of folks still working on some controlled burns there, and expect, again, tis the season as far as that goes, to be something that folks contend with again and have from time to time going forward. Of course, we'll talk more about that game between South Pontotoc and Pontotoc City Schools coming up here during our 6 o'clock broadcast with our Ethan Foster. But as we bring it back here to ground level, the conditions here are ripe for obviously some pleasant skies, as you can see here looking at the latest on our temperatures coming in around 82 degrees in Houston, 82 in Tupelo, and about 82 here in Pontotoc at this hour, as we showed you on that camera a moment ago there. Mama Justice Doppler radar. Again, high pressure is the story in control of where we are at here close nearby. As we look up to the north, we do have a frontal system that's getting a little bit closer to us, but looking well back to the north and west. If you're looking for meaningful drops in any sort of temperature, we don't really have any of those going forward, as we are definitely certainly more dry than wet for much of the extended forecast as well. So it's bringing in good and close here as we continue to track things forward. And the future cast continues to keep us dry into this evening. And as we head into tonight, as you'll note here, high pressure, the story closer to that front, though, not even really any precipitation there as well as we continue. Okay, Gabe, we flipped that there. I always think of like the old Zelda games when the map flips over and how I can barely even recognize the U.S. when we flip it. Anyway, showing high pressure. You're going to be clicking this now, Gabe. Not even gonna try. I'm gonna let this all be you. High pressure and control as far as tonight is concerned. There, we're going 80 the next couple of hours, and obviously dropping thereafter as we have some clouds moving in. Again, thin enough. Not expecting a lot of meaningful precipitation from any of those, obviously, as high pressure remains our story, even with that front kind of approaching us. So hour by hour forecast over the next 24 with 57 at 6 a.m. tomorrow, 78 degrees by noon, and 85 degrees tomorrow afternoon. This is obviously near record high territory, and that's where we're largely going to be for the next few days as we look forward. Coming up in 60 seconds, we are breaking down that extended forecast, which, as you might imagine, more dry than wet. Not a lot of folks complaining after what was obviously a wet last weekend and stormy weather. When could we talk about the next chances for that? We're looking at that extended forecast. Mississippi Live Weather continues here from the mobile room-to-room weather center from our Game of the Week presented by Casey Lott right after this.
When you've been injured, don't settle for a lawyer who doesn't even know where you live. Call Langston and Lott. Local lawyers, personal service, real results.
At First Choice Bank, we know you can't always make it before the bank closes. With our integrated teller, you can talk to a live person as late as 7 p.m. on weekdays and noon on Saturdays. It's not just an ATM, it's an ITM. First Choice Bank, your choice for banking.
Look at Wanda, ready to rock her big presentation. But first, lunch. Sweet Pepper's Deli. Delicious, celebratory, but is it quick? The Cobb salad. Tender oven roasted chicken, topped with cheese. Prepared, plated, and served in 6 minutes? Is this for real? Well, of course. Well done, Wanda. Sweet Pepper's Deli. Yes, ma'am. Life is sweet.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's Mississippi's Chief Meteorologist, Matt Lobhon.
Well, we are live from Pontotoc at our Mississippi Live Game of the Week. It is, of course, the ladies playing, the girls playing this evening here between South Pontotoc, making the trip here to Pontotoc City Schools. And the weekend forecast is looking pretty nice over the course of today. So let's look ahead at that forecast out there over the next 24 hours or so. Gabe, you said your hands off. What are we looking at? Go ahead and pop up the graphic there. 82. There we go. Hey, you can pop your microphone on if you want to say anything. This is we're 81 for the feels like temperature because the measure of moisture is fairly low there, coming about 52. You know, it's just some beautiful weather in and around the region today, as those clear skies obviously are dominating things at this point in time. Our high school game of the week again presented by Casey Lott. We are softballing again this week, so excited to be here in Pontotoc. Again, temperatures. There's first pitch coming up at 6 p.m. scheduled there. And so we're looking at 78 at first pitch time, about 73 by the fourth inning, and the mid 60s at the conclusion. I'm short sleeves, and I might be a little warm in the long pants this afternoon. Weekend forecast 85 on Saturday, 86 Sunday. We're obviously well above our normal for both of those days. We're dry for both days as well. And anytime we can say those two things this time of year, that's usually a pretty good sign. A little bit of a breeze from time to time, but nothing that's over the top in that regard. So Mama Justice Doppler radar, latest scans, clear and dry. The only thing we've seen from time to time on here today has been an occasional smoke plume, but luckily that's been more of the exception to the rule. But obviously in those cases, they've been control burns that we have been dealing with there. 82 Tupelo and Amory, as we mentioned a moment ago there, about 81 degrees back in Belzona, 80 in Kosciuszko. A pretty common number there, 81 Corinth, and 80 degrees back up in Tishomingo County. So looking at Futurecast this evening, temperatures dropping about 77 degrees, as you can see, by 7 p.m. there on some southwest winds. We hardly have any cloud cover even showing up on this until later on tonight. Mainly high, mainly thin cloud cover coming in from the north around the ridge of high pressure that's been the dominant feature most of this week back toward the west coast of the United States. By around 2 a.m., you can see some of that clouds, but obviously no precipitation there. And as we wake up tomorrow morning, again, it's going to be dry for your Saturday, somewhere in the upper 50s to begin early Saturday morning. We'll go about 57 degrees we show there in Amory, 56 in Columbus. This is obviously well above our normal for this time of the year. and a sign of the warmth that builds in through the day. So in a lot of ways, developing from a pretty nice day into a really nice day as we progress here. So low 60s there at around 9 a.m. with a mostly clear skies, a few clouds, but those winds out of the west and southwest, a little bit breezy. You could argue somewhat of an elevated fire danger when you factor in the warmth. And by that, I mean fire spreading danger and the breezy conditions. But luckily, we're not super breezy there. But you'll notice those wind gusts from time to time. And maybe it'll be a good thing just to try to cool us down a little bit because obviously it is pretty toasty. So 85 in Amory and Tupelo, the highs for tomorrow there. Now, I'm going to get it in here, make sure I got my numbers right. I'm getting glasses thing. That's why I want to double check. 87, that record for tomorrow. So we're not quite the record high temperature for your Saturday, about 87 where we're going to be in Kosciuszko, but everybody a couple degrees cooler than that and obviously well above what we typically would expect. So we keep it mostly clear into your Saturday evening. Saturday night winds stay out of the south and west, 69 there, as you can see, by around 9 to 10 o'clock. And then we drop into the low 60s by early Sunday morning under mostly clear conditions. As we go into your Sunday, those southerly winds kind of bringing up a little bit more in the way of cloud cover, but not really seeing any precipitation there from that. And then mainly high thin clouds again there for Sunday through midday in the afternoon. Noontime, as you're getting out of church, we're about 78 degrees on those southwest winds. And then mid 80s by high temperature time period on Sunday. So again, this is some well above normal temperatures, and we're going to be flirting with record highs even in the latter part of your weekend there. By Sunday, say 6 p.m. Those winds still breezy, but not super duper strong. We show 86 the high temperature in Tupelo. And again, I'm going to get in here so I can double check and see if I can read. That's what I thought. 83, the record high. So forecasting that record high there on Sunday. I knew we were close. I just wanted to verify that. But yeah, we might even, and some car or bank thermometers. We show, say, down there around Eupora, perhaps back toward Starkville or Columbus. We could potentially see a 90 degrees show up on some car or bank thermometers. So spring, it is here. And thankfully, it's not the roaring kind of spring like what we had last week. So as we look through your Sunday night into early Monday, Monday's going to start off with a little bit of cloud cover out there, but not really much in the way of precipitation, though our chances do get slightly better by late Monday. We start off around 60 to begin the day. Our winds kind of shifting north and northeast behind a quick moving front there, and that shift in wind direction. A few more clouds and a few little sprinkles showing up by late Monday. I think we'll probably leave a percentage off the 7-day forecast because it's just not substantial. And it's coming on the heels of what's been a very dry week. And typically the first time we start to see a little moisture showing up from future cast, especially in this sort of setup, tends to be a little bit overdone, especially when it's fairly light there. But some of that possible late into your Monday evening and possibly early Tuesday morning as well. We show just a little bit more moisture there by, say, 9 to 10 o'clock there on your Tuesday morning. So a sign that we do have some slight chances for rainfall ahead. But significant ones, I wouldn't call those that. So 85 high temperature on your Saturday. Again, that's after we start off around 57 degrees, 78 by noon, and 84 degrees as we head toward the afternoon under mostly clear skies. We're 86 degrees by Sunday, 74 as we go toward Monday. Again, that quick move in front there drops temperatures and limited rain chances. We mentioned some sprinkles, not an impossibility there for the first of next week, but meaningful rainfall, probably not particularly likely what we're looking at here. We're upper 70s by Wednesday, mid 80s back by Thursday. And as you look at that extended forecast, what we do not have are any substantial, significant rain chances, even through the latter part of the week there. We are much more dry than we are wet, and that's obviously a major understatement. Okay, so we are our Mississippi Live Game of the Week. It's just spectacular weather out here in Pontotoc, and I think we're getting closer to game time here for our Mississippi Live Game of the Week. Presented by Casey Lott there. The softball girls from Pontotoc taking on the girls from South Pontotoc. I'm excited to go ahead and say hi to all the folks from South Pontotoc. We missed them during football season. I did because I was out of the country at that point. So hopefully we get to have a lot of fun with them this evening and looking forward to a great game. Our Ethan Foster will be here to help us break down that game coming up with Mississippi Live Sports during our 6 o'clock broadcast. That is our next broadcast here live from the Mobile Room to Room Weather Center. You can catch us live every day at 5, 6, and 10 p.m. 6 and 10 every day of the week, but Monday through Friday, 5, 6, and 10 p.m., and then 6:37 and 7:30 a.m. Monday through Friday. Our meteorologist, Maggie McCauley, with updates here. We thank you all so much for supporting us here on Mississippi Live Weather. We will see you at 6.
You wonder how they're going to experience the real world in real safety, where all kids are welcome and everyone has a path forward to new skills, advancement, leadership, something they will carry with them the rest of their lives.
Even though Gabe grew up in Alabama, Mississippi has now become his home and his family. And one thing about Gabe is he keeps his family safe.